complete form of the Buddhist teachings in this world, that it upholds in this world. So therefore, it's extremely important that that Tibet have freedom again.
Oda tendresi ini da nganzo diring molam gyabu yat karjesi na ini gyabu ishin narbu ini kuzi yun rinbu jene ini shuk tuba dang ini gyabu rumshiki tugi gongba kari yueba di drup tuba tendre yung yak diring nganzo molam gyadi diring da chungar du jengi ini keche shu diti chagdus.
So it's very important, and today, on this occasion of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's birthday, His Holiness, who's the wish-fulfilling jewel in the world, that we pray very strongly for His Holiness to have a long and stable life, and to be able to accomplish all of the holy intentions and the activities of His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Tene diring nganzo da kamyo shoyagi ini subject di karins na maranzo namgyun mise nanglo la ini sem di shidi dang kibu yung yak tabshe kanja jagore di kol shoyagi.
So today I'd like to speak a little bit about how to bring about in our ordinary human life, how to bring about peace and happiness.
당가랑스 남규미 기나스 상마데네 ene 양양 최고라 퇴섬당 요래 ene nganzo tanda ngarik gatsal ling nanglola kishi doji tamdola pene mambo kalop nang yore ene lexolage ene 양양 kiran스 dan kamen nang yore chedang ne nangbo sangjebe chög nanglola ene nganzo semge nedang kanje yimbade kiran스 mambo.
So I think all of you actually quite often speak about and hear teachings about how to bring about peace and happiness in the mind. At Ngarik Gatsal Ling, you come often to listen to Dharma talks by Keishi Gyoji Damdo, and sometimes also by Tenzin Netso and so forth. So this is something that you've heard about quite a bit in the past.
지르상에 당가랑서 제기 대화세야디 대화당 동해세야 되라 네 류기 서로를 때문에 대화당 동해지 샘기네 나 샘기 되네 서로당 전에 대화당 동해직다 이 여러분.
So in general, when we talk about happiness and suffering, then there's two kinds. There's happiness and suffering that arise are an experience of the body, the physical happiness and a physical or physical comfort and physical suffering. And then there's also mental happiness and suffering.
류기 서로를 때문에 대두디 지당내 숙청부여르데 샘기네 대두당 권이 dur바이나 류기 서로 대두디 숙청하제 아니 샘기 서로 대두디 숙체와당 만절라다 집에 숙긴 이 망아요레스.
So then when we look at the feelings of pleasure or suffering of the body and of the mind, we can see that, in general, it's the feelings of pleasure and or happiness and of suffering of the mind that are more powerful and predominant.
지리상에 다 이임바드가르스 나가라서 도스가라서 냠뇽 때베네 때 사고도 요래 이간데 사고 어르스나 마랑조 류디네 베게 사야 통야게 지금 중间야본난 때베나야 그 샘디 기부면은 샘라 강에로 붙여야 인치로를 가서 지금 중间상보이네디 기부 3개월 말았어 가이스나 샘기 지금 왕디 채어요.
So how can we see this? We can see this in our own experience by, for example, when our body is in a situation where we have, good facilities, we have enough to eat, enough to drink, we have good clothing, and everything's comfortable. But if our mind is very unhappy, then we don't enjoy those things. We can't enjoy the pleasure of being in those circumstances. So from that kind of experience, we can see that actually the happiness or pleasure and suffering in the mind are more powerful.
ane semgi nanglo ne shididi tsengi sangwa yabu chiyobayina tene chi ngwebe tungen shira menayang chilo la tene peke da chik peke tungen punsum sopa tene ke mene kwe semgi nanglo la dewa dipe mesebe tene tembo dang yabu chiyobayina tene mide la kandara nye shididi yus laptugu yores.
So then also you can see that if you have happiness and well-being in your mind, even if externally you don't have good conditions, if externally things are not perfect or not right, but if you really have stable and powerful like sense of well-being and happiness in your mind, then you can say that that person abides in peace and happiness regardless of the external conditions.
Pena nganzuta bethen yonsu draba jesu mela riba tabu ina yanko be trabu lo shu yanko chipike kake chigi tungen pensum sabu kaya yo mare chigi shela sheya dandine kaya yo mare de korang sung yorista ane be zambuling dina la kiba ngale kiba sujig mayasam dina sung yorbas odi karresna koda semgi shididi shukchambu shibuji yo inza be misibe ne dewa shukchambu chikyo yoras.
So then if you look at a very good example is that of Jetsun Milarepa, this yogi in Tibet. So, he lived in very harsh conditions, like in a cave, and, caves high up in the mountains, and he didn't have very good conditions at all. He hardly had any decent food to eat, or clothes to wear or anything. He had very rough conditions. And yet he himself says that, he said that in the world, I'm one of the happiest. I'm the happiest person, that exists. So that's because of the happiness in his mind.
Adi indu semgi shidi drubala, anzo semla shidi yongma jugindi gelgendi garredo, dadi takje jene, semla kibu yongya di garre tawni yongudu, sem chuya dan, sem kibu yongma jugindi barshe di kanya yongudu, dadi la jeba jaya di kechimshibu chagyoras.
So then it becomes very extremely important to analyze very carefully what is it that prevents having happiness and peace arise in our minds. What are the forces that are obstacles to and that go against having peace and happiness in our mind. It's extremely important to analyze and check that.
다 남부 상제베 최네 되네 셈기 되네 베게 셈라 동에 때르겐데 가르스나 셈라 여베 녀몽바 생긴다 녀몽바 다 집에게 미셰바 몽바 오다 데즈 녀몽베 직 상마기 되네 간저 셈리야 동에 적이요레스 이송거레스.
So then according to Buddha's teachings, then what is it that gives us, afflicts our mind and gives us suffering in our mind are what we call afflictive emotions or destructive emotions, you might say, such as ignorance and anger and other kinds of afflictive emotions. So it's these afflictive emotions that afflict or disturb our mind and cause us to have suffering and prevent us from having happiness.
오다 다 녀몽바 망보 시부지요레 계지 시동 스탠드를 비어레스 녀몽 계지 시동 스탠드를 장기요르다 가다리 녀몽베 직 망보 시부 주여바낭네 소데는 되자시당 디모스